Start. Hi everyone, I'm from BDITDomain. You all know we have started a series about Selenium Java course. So we are in our first class of Java concepts, which is loops and conditions. We have previously discussed about Selenium concepts. So I have even given the preview of if you go to the last class, you can see all the preview of whatever the Selenium topics we have discussed. And if you have any doubts, you can just ping us in the comment box session. And today's class, as I said, about Java. So the first class here is about loops and conditions. So in Selenium, when we are working with Selenium, we have seen few areas we will be working on the loops and conditions. So the conditions basically, we have like if, else if, like that. So why we need a conditions and why we are using all these things means, so for example, we have a certain code to be executed on certain condition, right? For example, if we take a drop down, so the drop down have a multiple values, but I want to select the value which I'm actually expecting from the drop down. So if that expected value is equal to the actual value, so then I want to get inside and click the particular option. So this works only when I use a different conditions. So that is where even we have seen it in Windows handling also. Like when we are handling the Windows, what we did, we used a condition inside. We are of course getting I will be showing that we are of course getting the every window reference and title of the window. And what we are doing after getting everything, so we will be giving a condition saying that if the title is dot equals to the expected title, actual title will come from the application and expected will be we are giving. So we are using the if condition over there. So if this is equals to this, then get inside and automate the buses window or a child window. So we can able to use these conditions many places, like in many different ways. So let me show one example here. Yeah. So I was talking about this. Here, both conditions and loops both have been given. So exactly, I'm directly getting into the example itself. If we see, we are using a for as a loop to travel through the number of windows which is open during the execution. Why I'm taking this example? Because we have already worked on this. So you might have an idea how we handle the window. So we have a multiple windows. So where multiple windows are there, you must get into the each window by using a switch to method. And we can able to get the title and verify the title, and we can able to automate. Because without switching to the window, you cannot able to automate the windows. So if you want to switch to the window, you must first of all go through the window one after another. Right? So for that reason, we are using a enhanced for loop, where here the string window, each time this window is holding each window reference, and it is checking on all the windows. All the windows will be capturing all windows references. So every loop, it is going to be checked whether that particular one window title, first time parent window, second time child window, like that. Obviously, all windows are holding these windows. So when this condition true, whatever we are providing inside the for loop, when that makes true, then only that will get inside. the code will get inside, the execution will get inside, and we are switching to the particular window, getting the title of the window. Till here, the looping condition will work. Comes to the natural condition, we are equalizing the title we are getting from the execution to the title we have it with us. So for that, we are using a if. So like that, if we want to do it for multiple windows, then what we can do? We have something called a else if also. Else if means we can parallelly check multiple conditions. We can parallelly check multiple conditions, and finally we can give else. See, what is difference between else if and else means? Usually, for example, we are giving if and else, either of one only will get executed. Either of one, either if this is not true, then else will get executed. It's kind of, default. But coming to else if will execute for sure, it will go and check the condition. Even if it is true or false, it will come back to the else if and it will also check that condition. If it is executed, then it's fine. If not executed, it will check the condition inside else if. Okay, so that is a difference between if and else if. Every time the condition will be checked here. Like that, you can provide number of else ifs. So this is about a very high level understanding about loops and conditions. So let us see one example here. What are the different loops we have and what are the properties of that loops? So we have three kinds of loops in Java. One is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. First of all, let us know the difference between three loops. For loop is a loop when you know the certain number of iterations, then we go with a for loop. So for loop, basically one of the best examples I can give every time for loop is, for example, when you are using any net banking or accounts with the bank, when you keep giving the wrong password, it will give only certain number of, what I can say, certain number of tries only, right? Maybe 3 times you can try, four times you can go wrong, but 5th time it will block. Hope everyone have this kind of situations. So when this kind of things are happening, so internally the code would have implemented the for loop. So what I'm trying to say is that we know the fixed number of iterations in for loop. So for loop means, for example, it is not like if you are using one particular bank, like Bank of America. So they will be, whoever the customers using that bank net banking account, so will have the same condition for every user. It is not subjective from user to user, rather it is generic for every user. So whoever the user it is, it will be like the same for everyone, right? So that's how for loop will work. And coming to while loop, so it's just opposite. We don't know how many number of iterations it will be. So then it will be while loop. So while loop, one of the best examples is a chat box. You don't know how many number of messages you are sending to the other person and how many number of messages you are getting from other person until unless you log out. You can still see those messages visibly in the application. So it means that you doesn't know the number of iterations, then it will be while loop. Coming to do while loop. So there are few applications they will give at least one time you can try, like, even though it is a paid applications, if you go to Google Play Store, and there are so many, even gaming applications, I can say, even gaming or any kind of other applications, mostly I can say it's a gaming applications. So they will give a chance for the user, at least once they can play without paying a money. But once one trial is over, even coming to some entertainment platform based applications, so digital applications, most of them have sometimes give this kind of option, right? For example, Netflix or Amazon or something like that. For example, I have seen it recently in, I think, Prime, I think so. 10 minutes movie you can watch freely, even though you are not a user. Then after that, you must pay. It means that at least it is giving a chance to the user without checking any condition. Here, the condition is a customer must have the account. The condition is must have the account. But even though the customer doesn't have it, at least it's giving a chance for once. Then after for the next loop, it is, yes, the condition must be satisfied. The customer must have the payment done. Like for any kind of package, they must take to enjoy the other entertainments, like other movies or a series or anything. So it means that if you want to execute certain code at least once, then we can go for a do while loop. So let us see the examples.